Shibboleth, Part 8. The Cure. It is evening after another long day working hard to understand how does money function? Where do I get it in order to purchase the materials needed to build our business? And what the heck is our business? Here are the thoughts crossing Angel's mind as she kicks back on the sofa along with the others. As they all relax, their attention is, like often, attracted to the radiant, lively plant, which sits basking in the warm light. Still, no one knows anything about it, only that somehow it seems well cared for. Let's see if Silvio has anything to say about this green buddy we have here, Angel says. All agree, and Angel rubs the bottle. This time it gets warm and even seems to glow with just a slight blue tint. Blue is the warmest color, they say. A blue smoke comes oozing out of the bottle. It comes out like blue lava that flows over the table and then down onto the ground. It builds on top of itself and slowly takes the form of Silvio. And here he is now, just standing there like a statue, but his eyes look alive. Everything is very quiet. The plant shakes a little bit, as if somebody is wiggling it. The water faucet slowly turns itself on, a pitcher floats in the air, and the plant is watered. When all this is done, everyone still being very quiet, Silvio takes a deep breath. Every breath that I am receiving, aware, is one for nurturing clarity. Ah. How are we? He says. And the children all smile. A nice, relaxed smile. But Silvio is still like a statue. A blue statue, which is emanating the voice of Silvio. His lips are not moving. A long, long time ago, I visited a very old woman. She lived high up on a mountain in a cave. She was very wise, and to look into her eyes was to see endless possibilities and endless potential. 'Twas like looking into the morning sun directly, just as it is rising, warm, sparkling, radiant, and gentle, yet also very, very powerful, and not at all complicated, pure. "Oh ho, Mr. Division of Labor, my friend," she said to me as I entered her cave. "Here, look what I am doing, something beautiful for you. And you can do it too. I'll make it all worth your while. You will see. I am making medicine to heal the world. You are just in time." Just then, the statue shook, like it was breaking free of some stiffness, like breaking free from being frozen stiff for a long, long time. He continued, something is happening. Wait. And he began to do his little dance. Look at me. Look at me. I am so free. It is working. I am here. Well, okay, yep. You are welcome, said Angel. It's like time must have been moving so slowly for such a long time. But now look, it's like time has sped up. And now, here we are. You, me, and this miraculous plant, too. I must share some special things with you all now about what is happening in the world. Remember the world from which you came from before you entered into the cave? And suddenly, Angel and some of the others realized something. They did not exit from the cave by the same tunnel through which they arrived. She was able to sense that they were in a slightly different world now, one that is a little more changeable, quieter, and without all of the rules and laws and so many people running around chaotically. All of this they seemed to be just fine with, since they were orphans. It was not so difficult to start everything in a new way, fresh, out of the illusion of always being behind in all that needs to be done, away from all of the overpowering force of just always trying to catch up with all of the things going on. Let me speak just a minute about all of that which is happening in the place where you came from. The children sat quietly waiting, ready to hear. There are factories and machines and robots and computers that are so powerful now that we are able to do a lot of extra work in a short period of time. When we consolidate all of this ability in one country, the United States of America, or any country which has enough natural resources of its own, close by to all the raw materials and natural resources, and when we combine this potential with lots of money pouring in, invested, rebuilding and expanding our infrastructure, then chances are we have a good chance, first of all, of taking care of our debt according to the rules, the present rules still in place, and then fixing the deficit, fixing the defect in our present form of money, and making the hoardable money melt, so that it must circulate and stay in circulation to nurture life. Ice money. After this simple but profound correction to our money, we will continue on our journey through the land of capitalism. Will we need to borrow more? Trillions will be returning from hiding where it stirred its black magic. Hoardable money, the secret device which the no-eyes guys have been using against us for hundreds of years, for thousands of years, and keeping us from ever reaching our true potential as humans, the image of God. Resurrecting our industrial complex and setting into motion a lot of money, ice money, U.S. money, which cannot so easily leave the country anymore, will soon result in lots of factories, homes, and ships, infrastructure being built. And what happens to rent and interest? Each new factory means more demand for workers, and so higher wages. The work will be in the refinement of our division of labor. This is a very good thing. As we refine the division of all the work in the process of manufacturing and industry, with the help of the machines and robots, we will find ourselves with more and more time for devoting to the part of work which we have been neglecting, the replenishing and healing of the life source, Mother Nature. We will develop a very intimate relationship with the life source, and the human work will be, how can we make things easier for Mother Earth? Our efforts will be on doing the work of earth restoration, people restoration, and self-restoration. One way to do this is to make sure that all the hard work we do never gets cut short or interrupted ever again. How do we do this? We make sure that money, which feeds business, never gets taken out of circulation for too long. Because when this happens, business gets sluggish, like a body with poor circulation. How do we make sure that money remains in circulation, exchanging the products of all the work we do, including the mining of natural resources, in a smooth, continuous way? We do this by fixing the defect in our traditional money, and that defect is money does not decay. This is the defect. Everything in nature decays, and in order for nothing to have special unnatural privileges so that the process of natural selection rules, money must also decay, little by little. Traditional money is money which is like an old, worn-out tradition, a harmful one, with no reason to be carried on anymore. It is anti-disestablishmentarianism, which is floxinau senilipilification. This is the seed which I want to plant tonight, as I introduce you all to my little friend, whom I have known for a very long time. Finally, now, we are all here together. It is a very special time, thanks to the ever-circulating, miraculous effect of ice money, which cannot be held back, to limit the potential of our human creation and development here on Earth. This very special planet, where life is able to thrive especially well due to our particular position in the universe. And once that ice money has allowed us true freedom, we are much more easily able to welcome the higher intelligence or spirit force to operate through us. Being more clear in our thought process, seeing things more clearly, navigating with uninterrupted focus, clear and calm, thanks to ice money. Let me put it this way. Beings of light riding through space to come here to this one particular planet, which happens to contain the ultimate natural conditions essential for life, bringing the God message for inspiring help, for inspiring life. They come from the sun, and they work through us, best when we are clear of interference, which is what ice money has allowed us, clarity, through the refinement of the division of labor, sharing the workload for the benefit of all, with the process of natural selection fully engaged, because we are receiving the full proceeds for all the work each of us does. There is no more unearned income, no more interest, no more usury. Shoo, said Silvio. And after just about a minute of complete silence, he continued. Ice money fixes the problem by compelling all money to return to circulation, where it can serve its true purpose, to assist in making the exchange of our products easier, faster, and cheaper. Let us get back to my story about the lady in the cave. She showed me a little bit about what she was doing, working with this plant. Her fingers were all green from the fragrant plant resin. Silvio walked over to be closer to the plant. It seemed to radiate the power of life. And then she waved her hand over her head and snapped her fingers a few times. And there, suddenly it seemed, came walking up to us from somewhere deep inside the cave, a very unusual little character. He carried 2 pieces of luggage. He was green. Yes, for sure, he was green. A fresh green color. His hair was piled on top of his head. Lots of dreadlocks. Some a dark color and some silver. Some blue and some pink, too. I think they had been growing for a long time. His eyes were red like rubies. And he wore a special-looking pendant which hung from his neck. It sparkled like 1,000 diamonds. It was plain to see that he was, yes, a lizard that stood on 2 feet and could walk and talk. He placed both suitcases on the ground, did a little jig, and swirled around, and then he opened up one of the suitcases and took out a blazing, white, dazzling accordion. I could hardly look at it straight on, and then he played. I actually only saw blazing white flashes of light, and I heard the sounds of monstrously beautiful waves of vibration. It made me think of the circus. But then he finished. The accordion went back into the suitcase, and he proceeded to open the other suitcase. It was full of money, of which he gave me some, and he said, "You must not keep this money, or it will disappear. Tikkun olam." He gave me a wad of it. Then he closed the suitcase up again, saluted me, bowed humbly, and returned into the dark. He disappeared as he walked back into the depths of the cave. "Well," the wise woman said, a little bit surprised and impressed. "Now, take this special ingredient." She handed me the plant material, and put it with that special ingredient, the money. One day, you will be in just the right place, at just the right time. Sim, sim, salabim, alakazam, alakazoo, abracadabra, and you will know, with the money, just exactly what to do. I looked at the money. Ice money was printed on it boldly, and there were a few unusual symbols. One of them looked like this, a barcode, and another like this, the symbol for niter. And then I looked at the plant material and the seeds. She said, medicine to heal the whole planet and all the humans. When it comes time, you will know what it is called. Meanwhile, use it, grow it, stay connected with it. Here is my pipe. She lit it, set loose some rings of smoke, and then handed it to me. What's your name? I said, and then I tried the pipe. Etty. Etty Dorfa, she smiled. And then, this is what she said. Her voice changed a little bit. It seemed as if there were two voices coming from her, and sometimes more. Purify the money. And she jumped up, whirling around and snapping her fingers. Its job is to secure, accelerate, and cheapen the exchange amongst one another of all the various products which we make or create, especially this one here. And she held up a branch with a beautiful flower bud sparkling in the sun. You can say that the purpose of money is to sustain life by the proper distribution of all the natural resources of the earth. And who moves all of these resources around? Who determines where they go and how they get replenished? We do, us humans for the most part. And I must say that we do it in a very powerful way when we have the help from machines and robots. We must think of this movement in terms of Qigong. It should be smooth and steady, not jerky and crazy. This money, which you now have in your hand, ice money, accomplishes this, and it makes sure that the flow is never interrupted or disturbed. No more economic crisis, and no more unemployment, and no more holding us back from our full potential as humans, the hand of God, ever again. Especially, my dear friend, Mr. Division of Labor, make sure that this magical plant gets distributed properly. I was inclined for some reason to bow down to her. It was quite effortless. I didn't even think about it. It was simply the natural thing to do. After that, we sat and had a drink of hot tea, and we were just quiet for a good while, grateful. This is the story of how I came to have this very special plant. I've been caring for it for many, many years, ages. You will notice me caring for the plant every day, but I will be invisible. Just watch what I do and you will learn. If you have any questions, just rub the bottle. And now, my hard-working little friends, you know what your business is. And you will know where to get the money, and indeed what kind of money to use. I will show you every step of the way. You will see and you will learn the natural economic order so that this plant, cannabis, is distributed properly and optimally. I must thank you, little friends, for it is on this very special occasion that I, myself, have come to know the name cannabis. All of these years I never knew, probably because it was illegal. But now, the door has been opened, We just need to follow the North Star, which is the natural economic order. Follow me. I have it right here, my treasure. And he pointed to his temple. And with that, Silvio began to glow a radiant blue light, and slowly he began to sink back to the floor. He turned into blue lava again, and oozed his way back in the opposite direction, back into the bottle. Angel got up and gently walked over to the bottle sitting on the table. She put the top back on. Then she laid down on the floor and slept right there under the cannabis. End part 8.